On to Sri Lanka now. The country woke up to an unprecedented oil price rise, pushing the country into deeper economic crisis. The Lanka IOC, the Indian Oil Corporation unit in Sri Lanka, has now increased oil prices of petrol and diesel by 50 Lankan rupees and 75 Sri Lankan rupees respectively from Thursday. For the first time in history, a litre of petrol costs 250 Sri Lankan rupees, while a litre of diesel has touched 200 Sri Lankan rupees. The Lanka IOC statement attributing the historic fuel price rise to the depreciating Sri Lankan rupee. The Sri Lankan rupee plunged twice in the last 7 days against the dollar, initially to 230 rupees to a dollar and then to an exorbitant 260 rupees to a dollar. It is currently at 256 rupees against the dollar. The statement also highlights the prospects of a full embargo on Russian oil and products, complicating matters further. The Russia-Ukraine war has already triggered fears over fuel supply scarcity, and as a result, a rise in crude oil prices is threatening to reach unforeseen levels. In its statement, the LIOC reported suffering huge losses caused due to these external shocks. Surprisingly, this price hike comes as governing officials assured that there would be no fuel price hike, and that is why it would be interesting to see if the state-run Sepetco would follow suit. Sepetco has already run dry of its supply in recent weeks. Days ago, Sri Lanka's central bank chief appealed to his government to increase the fuel and electricity prices significantly to ensure that there is a natural reduction in demand. Sri Lanka has been facing severe fuel crisis over the past few weeks. In February, Sri Lanka's Indian Oil Corporation unit had raised petrol by 20 Sri Lankan rupees a litre to 204 rupees and diesel by 15 rupees to 139 rupees. The country is struggling to procure much needed foreign reserves to purchase fuel, and as a result, many stations are running out of fuel. People are queuing up for fuel for days. It's a common occurrence in the country now. The South Asian country is battling its worst economic crisis in over 70 years, one that is marked by scarcity of essential goods, fruits, vegetables, and the skyrocketing food prices. In March itself, the country started imposing daily power cuts of over 5 hours. Its water supply has also been reduced, especially in Colombo. And what is deepening the crisis further is the escalating debt. Since 2007, successive governments have issued sovereign bonds to Sri Lanka, with China as its major lender. Sri Lanka now has foreign debt obligations worth $7 billion, and out-of-debt repayment of bonds worth $1 billion is due in July, a target unlikely to be reached as it grapples with its worst economic crisis. Our correspondent Sonia Thoda getting us this report from Colombo.
I'm currently at a Lanka IOC filling station, which is a subsidiary of the Indian Oil Corporation. Now, just last night, the Lanka IOC increased fuel prices by record amounts. To be more specific, a 75 rupee price hike per litre of diesel, as well as a 50 rupee price hike per litre of petrol. So for the first time in Sri Lanka, a litre of petrol and diesel has soared past the price of 200 rupees. Now, undeniably, it is the consumers that will be stifled and will be bearing this cost, in addition to soaring costs of living here in the country, added by a worsening forex crisis. Reporting for WION World is one from Colombo, and Dasmia Powder.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.